This must be a priority in your marriage. Jumping into day 34 of the Love Dare. Before we jump into the new material, I want to ask, how did yesterday go? Considering the idea that love completes one another, the mindset of we need our spouse. Our spouse helps us be more rounded. We need their counsel, their advice. How did it go yesterday in acknowledging that, maybe apologizing for something that you have not been doing in that regards, not considering your spouse? Please comment below. Let us know how that went yesterday and what kind of change that you saw personally for yourself and for your marriage. Today, day 34 of the Love Dare, love celebrates godliness. We have to have this. This must be a priority in our marriages. You may have seen the triangle example where when we come together as husband and wife, as we get closer to God, we get closer together. That idea is kind of what we're talking about today. The more in line we are with God, the more in line we are with His Word, the more spiritually minded we are, the better the marriage is going to be. As we consider God's Word and understanding it and how important it is to have a godly, loving marriage. It's a no regrets family. We can look back at the end of our lives not regretting how we treated our spouse, how we spoke with our spouse, how we spent time with them. This is something that is important to me, and I pray that it's important to you as well. When we look at God's Word and what He expects of us, we know when we look at 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 16 and 17, it says, "All scriptures given by inspiration of God is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, and for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be complete, thoroughly equipped for every good work." So we know God's Word equips us. We know from James chapter 1 that wisdom comes from God's Word. And then when we consider Galatians chapter 5, fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, when we have those things in our life, and that's the fruit that we are bearing as a Christian, as a follower of Christ, how much better is our marriage going to be when we have those things being produced in us? And those are the attributes that we are demonstrating towards our spouse. We're just going to be so much better off. Our spouse will be better off. We're going to be doing what God would have us to do and have us to be. Or contrast that with being prideful and selfish and outbursts of anger and being impatient, irritable, having anger towards our spouse, raising our voices. There's so many things, so many negative attributes come out when we are not exhibiting those fruit of the Spirit, when we're not employing wisdom, when we're not equipped by God's Word. As we consider that idea, we need to daily be trying to grow spiritually ourselves, and we'd be growing in God's Word, growing in our spiritual practices. When we're doing that, we're going to be better. Our marriages will be better. When our spouse is doing that, we need to be celebrating them. We need to be encouraging them, praising them for those positive changes, those spiritual gains that they are making and demonstrating in their lives. It's going to be a benefit both for them, for us, for our marriage, any children that we have. It's going to be a benefit to all those around them. I want to ask you this question in that regards. When your spouse is showing some positive Christian attributes, some spiritual growth, is that something that you are most proud of, most happy about, most attracted to when you see your spouse doing that? That should be something that should get us excited and celebrate, encourage our spouse in. Because when we're doing that, when our spouse is doing that, we are being pleasing to God. What are some of these things? Growing in Christian character, growing in moral purity, sexual purity, growing in spiritual activities, giving, being more service-oriented. There's so many things that are positives to these. This is what we should be rejoicing in. We should encourage those things. 3 John verse 4, John says that he has no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in the truth. We desire that for our kids. Do we desire that for our spouses? The dare for today, as we consider this idea of love celebrates godliness, I want us to consider recently some positive Christian attribute that your spouse demonstrated, whether it was hospitality, serving somebody, whatever it is. Pick out some positive Christian behavior that they have recently demonstrated and commend your spouse verbally. Let them know that you are proud of them, you are thankful for them, what they did, and encourage that behavior. That is the dare for today, and we will talk to you tomorrow for day 35.